So hello, hi. Welcome to our presentation. Which is in subject project paper in education. So in this subject by Miss Audrey G. Edmond. So the subject we need to find a group and do research in the school. So our title for our research is the effect of listening English song to English subject among year 4 student at SK Ulu Kalabakan. So in this project I have a group, which is the first one is Rika Robert, and then the second is Arwin Nunding, third is Shamuddin Haji Sabardin, and the fourth is me, Muhammad Nazrin Shah bin Mazlin. And I start with acknowledgement first, which is I cannot express enough thanks to my committee for their continued support and encouragement from Miss Audrey G. Edmond, and I offer my sincere appreciation for the learning opportunities provided by my committee. My completion of this project could not been accomplished without the support of my group mates Rika Robert, Arwin Nunding, and Shahmuddin. Thank you for allowing me time away from you to research and write. And thanks to my parents as well for the countless time you keep to help during your hectic schedules will not be forgotten, and my heartfelt thank you so much. Okay, we go to abstract. Our abstract is listening to English song while studying has become a usual practice in the student population, while one group of students claim it would enhance their curricular efficiency, and then the second is the study comprised of two ways of survey, namely questionnaire based and experiment based, and our keywords is music, English song, and academic. For the introduction is, in the modern era of technology, many students listen to music while studying, and this trend raises a question on how music affects one's performance during the study. And there is a popular term coined the Mozart effect, which shows that listening to classical music such as Mozart help increase intellectual quotient and spatial reasoning. And Russia et al. In 1993 hypothesized that neurons in brain fire at a sequence that can be stimulated by specific frequencies such as Mozart music. And then for the problem statement is, the study attempts to identify whether using English song has an effect on the academic performance of the year for student at Sekolah Kebangsaan Ulu Kalabakan. So in this study, the student will using English song as the new method to increase their syllables and restore their pronunciation. Before this, we can see that many students have a lot of problem to master in English language subject in school, but we can see that they can memorize song easily. So we come with another method, which is using English song to change the old style of learning. Instead sit down in the class, why not we try to use music, so the student will have a new style of learning English, which is listening to music, and listening to music in the same time studying. And then according to the recent PISA ranking in 2009, Malaysia was ranked lower than the international average of the OECD average. Malaysia education system is still far behind more than 50 others countries in the world in terms of educating. And Malaysian school will have to make sure that students are given an education of reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills in English that will be of equal standard with other successful education system in the world. And Malaysia still in low average in English language, so that the researcher suggests that the use of music can help students to increase the English proficiency rate in the school. The importance of studies. Songs certainly belong to the group of fun activities which serve as useful tools for learning the language and which do not put pressure on the student to immediately. Whether using English songs has an effect to the academic performance of the year for students at SK Ulu Kalabakan are one type of listening activity that have a broad potential, and music and songs are essential part of growing and learning. Children love to sing, and teachers naturally use song to teach them concept and language in a fun way. And then the research objective and question. So the research objective is to develop listening skill, speaking skills, and language of student. And second is to put capabilities of song to help student learn English in lack of real practice occasion. And the third is to support on speaking skill and improve pronunciation student in English. And for the question is, what influence the song bring to support student English subject? And second question is, what the main problems student listening English song to English subject? And third is, what is the effect of online learning towards student academic achievement? So we continue with my friends.
Hello everyone, my name is Rika Robert. Now I'm going to present my part, which is for the conceptual and theoretical framework, literature review, also for the chapter 6 conclusion. Chapter 6 conclusion. For the introduction, in this chapter, the researcher will present of implication of study, limitation of study, recommendation for further research, and also the conclusion of study. Implication of study. The finding of the study is to explore the current issues that could challenge of teaching and learning English language in suburban school, and it's crucial for teacher, student, parents, the Ministry of Education, yet also for the public attention to understand how important education is in this millennial era. Last but not least, the Ministry of Education should take a second look and emphasize at the emergence of this modern learning environment. Not just the government, non-government organization also plays an important role to provide the source that the school needs to implement a better and effective teaching and learning environment. The limitation of study upon conducting this research is significantly from the problem statement and the research question. Other than that, measurement used for data collecting is limited due to the school that is located far from the researcher. Based on the research, the researcher cannot conduct this research in face-to-face learning, but only can use a virtual 40 learning due to the pandemic of COVID-19. For the recommendation for future research, this study was carried out of using a small sample of 30 respondents and was conducted in one of Tawau school for its current issue and challenges using quantitative case study design. With the limited sample size, the findings are not indicative of Malaysia's larger primary school population of learners. To acquire more general result, researchers suggest the same research to be carried out in other suburban secondary schools in order to explore in depth of their circumstance. So, for the conclusion, in this approach, control shift from the teacher to the student. Educators set the parameters, and students determine the content, structure, and format of the project. Educator helps students spark ideas, follow a process collaborative with peers, and communicate outcomes while remaining within the set parameters. Students take responsibility for all aspects of the project from concept to completion. The last is summary. This research presents the current issue, the challenges of teaching and learning English language in suburban school, and it is crucial for our country to carefully take into consideration upon the challenges that the school face toward implementing a better teaching and learning environment for English language. Hence, this issue will be proposed and upgraded for our society that will choose the axis of the future generation. That's all from us. Thank you. So now we go through to the research framework, which is for the part of theoretical framework. From the table 3, the independent variable using music in study is the main of our research. The dependent variable is the variable that changes in response to the independent variable student desire to learn and interaction teacher with student. These variables are connected within other and can cause and affect the result of this study. Now we go through to the introduction of literature review. By listening to English song, the student may not know the meaning directly, but they will be more familiar with the English sentence, how to pronounce a word, and so forth. This paper aims to improve student listening ability by using English song. In addition, through English songs, students will be trained to listen to the native speaker. Therefore, by using English song in teaching process, the student can improve their listening ability and know the correct pronunciation of a word in English. Nowadays, teachers have through a lot difficult tasks how to make students more understanding what they have studied in English class. This project will have aim at student year 4 at SK Ulu Kalabakan. We will use English song to make them understand and know what they learn at class. We who will carry out this project will enter and teach student year 4 at SK Ulu Kalabakan online through Google Classroom, and will give them the task to listen and remember the English song that they had been listened for 2 weeks. It will provide the student with new knowledge how to learn English with do what they like, such as listen to English song. Next, 1.6, definition of terms. The following were the key terms used in this research, and the definition. Issue is an important topic or problem for debate or discussion, or a subject or problem that people are thinking and talking about. where is the challenges are the situation of being faced with something that needs great mental or physical effort to be done successfully and therefore takes a person's ability. For 1.7 conclusion, the first chapter of this research starts with the introduction of the research and further explanation about music can make students study English language. Follow by the problem statement, importance of study, research objective, research question, theoretical framework, and conceptual framework. This chapter concludes with the definition of terms.
Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna present about chapter 3 which is related to the research methodology. So first of all I want to introduce what is research. Research is an approach of systematic to obtain and confirm the new or a reliable knowledge. It is also known as a creative and systematic work to increase the knowledge of something. The research involved the collection, organization, analysis of information to increase the understanding of a topic or an issue. The research are usually a study of work in the field in order to experiment and gain knowledge from something, for example, the new material. So, the research methodology is defined as the practical of how any given piece of research, especially it is about how a researcher design a study in order to ensure the valid and reliable result that address the research aim and objective. For the example, how the data is collected, where to collect, what are the data, and the analysis of data. In other words, the research methodology of research should justify the design choice by showing that the chosen method and technique are the best fit for the research aims and objective and will provide valid and reliable result. A good research methodology provides scientifically finding where a poor methodology are not. The researcher will look at the main design choice below. First is the methodological approach. So, the methodological research approach is the approach that we use for the school that are mixed approach where include the quantities and quantitative and qualitative and mixed together. For quantitative approach, we have done a research of the student in this school where most of them are very weak in English subject. So our observation also show that the students are very fancy at the English song. So we decide to give them a new way of learning, which is we use the English song as the bridge to learn the English subject. So for the qualitative approach, we discovered that the students are more understand in English subject using this method. We have tested this method into this school and find out that they understand clearly on English subject. This has also been lifted the knowledge of the student in the English subject. So this is our research design. Our research design for our research methodology. So our research design consists of the subject is English, of course. So the objective is to improve the understanding of the student in English subject. It is also to introduce a new method to teaching the student at the school for English subject. So this is our research design. So the location is located at SK Ulu Kalabakan, which is located at Tawau, Sabah. The reason we choose this school is because most of the students in this school are very weak in English subject. So we decide to choose this school to present our new method in education. So For the sample of our study, the population refer to the number of living people that live in together in that area. But in this case, our population m the number of the student at the school. So we choose just several of student that consist in the school, which we choose them that are very weak in the in the English subject. So our sampling technique is non-probability sampling technique. So for our non-probability sampling, we choose the random sampling technique because for this school we use the random sampling technique where we select group of subject for a study. As I said just now, we choose just several of students and divide them into a group. So we put a different music for the different group. This is a test actually for the student how they learn, and we will sampling them, we will evaluate them. That's how we know about their knowledge level. So we also use the systematic sampling that for the school. For the systematic sampling, the student will assign to a several group of six group for us to teach them. So we decide each of the student into a group, assuming that the student has 383 in the number of population. We decide the student in to divide the student into 12 group, where each of the group contain 30 students to enter the session for our online tutorial and teach them according to the method that provided by our group. Each of the group will be taught by our tutor sequentially. So for our research procedure, the data was retrieved from Sekolah Kebangsaan Ulu Kalabakan, where most of the students are weak in knowledge of English subject. Therefore, it attract our group to help them in on the understanding of this subject. So we decide to use this new method, this new way of education to teach them about English subject. So the data collection, the data was retrieved from the student, where our hypothesis showed that the students are more understand about English subject by learning using this method. The English subject is somehow a good for the student to understand the subject even more. So the objective of this experiment is to improve the knowledge of the student on the English subject and also experimenting a new method of teaching and learning. The respondents are more to primary school, as most of them are fancy in English music. Based on the analysis, the students are more comfortable in learning of this kind of method. We retrieve the data from the questionnaire based on our survey on the Google form. Therefore, this methodology are somehow successful in develop the understanding of the student toward the English subject. So these are our instrument of study. Our instrument of study is the first is the questionnaire, where we use the Google form on for the questionnaire, and the open form or open end. So the second method that we use for this research is guideline in using questionnaire. We clarify the question that relevant to the objective of the study, and we also correct their grammar. We so the principle so the third is the principle to consider the construction of questionnaire. So the student need to define and qualify. So we define and qualify the term that could easily misinterpret. So we also beware at the false grammar. So we also teach them that they must always be careful in using descriptive and adjective of the adjective. So the conclusion for this chapter is we can conclude that the hypothesis of the experiment is somehow success. The methodology approach are important in experimenting the understanding of the student. The objective are to make an experiment about the knowledge of the student and teach them on the English subject using the song. The data was retrieved and has been evaluated by the group member using the Google form question. So that's all for my for the chapter 3. So continue, Arwin.
Now I want to continue for my presentation of the effect of listening English songs to English subject among year 4 students at SK Ulu Kelabakan Tawau. The result. Introduction. This chapter explains the research finding which focus on the student background, the result of the data analysis and the research finding. For the descriptive analysis, the researchers use descriptive analysis for analyzing demographic information obtained from survey. This research was carried out among 30 students in SK Ulu Kelabakan Tawau. This is a table of show the present tense of gender. The table above show the gender and the result show 18 of male participant and 12 of female participant from different classes in SK Ulu Kelabakan Tawau. This is for the graph of the gender. Girls 12 and boy 18. The occasional analysis. The occasional aim to measure the level to which songs influence motivation for learning English, and the questionnaire consists of 3 parts and 15 questions. The first part contains 3 questions and refer to English and activity in general. In question 1 until 3, the respondent will asked to choose whether they like English classes or not, what they most like doing in English and what they least like doing in English classes. And question 4, 15 will yes and no question. And question for 60 and 17 are open-ended question which ask students whether using English song has an effect to the academic performance of the year 4 student at Sekolah Kebangsaan Ulu Kelabakan to state the reason for liking or disliking song in English classes. And all but one student like English classes. This show that young learner enjoy learning English and experience a good materials for future language development. This is for the table of chart, the result of the student choice of most and least like activity in English classes. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 activity that we group produce for the student. The first is drawing, singing song, dancing, coloring, listening to stories, and writing. The next table is student respond to the statement about songs. So this is question that feedback for the student from the activity. You can see this table. I like listening to song in English for 100% and 38.57. This is a chart example from a result from the activity English that my group doing in SK Ulu Kelabakan. Okay. The summary is often conducting this research and acquiring the data for a better analysis. This study is mainly focusing on understanding the issue and challenge that the school faces. The finding from the data analysis from figure 4.2 until figure 4.8 show how the student respond to different issue and challenge upon teaching and learning English in the classroom. And the next slide is discussion. Discussion is for the introduction. For the introduction discussion for my group is this chapter explore on the conclusion that are generated on the finding and discussion from chapter 4. This chapter also address the implication of the research analysis. The research may also review appropriate recommendation for future action and analysis by focus on the conclusion and discussion from this report. The question of discussion: what are the challenges that the school face toward the implementation of and teaching and learning English language, and what are the suitable solutions to overcome this issue? Was undertaken as the research question and focus in this research. And this study therefore attempt to explore the issue and challenge of teaching and learning in suburban school. In this section, researcher answers questionnaire as an instrument to collect data from the respondent for the data analysis and the research population comprised of 30 from year for student in Ulu Kelabakan, located in a suburban Tawau. So for the conclusion, this chapter already summarized the advantage of using music, teaching English to get student interest and also relationship between teacher and student of control group.